Hello, everybody. Welcome to the RSN Wrestling Podcast. This is another edition of the bi-weekly shoot, the shoot edition of the podcast that we offer here. Again, it's bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. We offer this kind of podcast, pretty much just recapping all the events that's happened from the past 2 weeks. Moving forward, like I said, we're going nonstop with this. And, we're just going to keep going with this. This is right here, the Mastermind Sal. And on the other line, we got the big guy, Rich.
What's up, guys?
This is RSN Wrestling Podcast. Unfortunately, Nick Lopez couldn't be here. Again, if you don't know who he is, he's the owner of PWO, Pro Wrestling Opinion. Basically, the knight that runs the site.
If you don't know who he is, then you live under a rock for the past couple months because we always talk about him.
Yeah, man, elaborate, man. You gotta explain. You gotta explain to people before they get on the list.
You mean the list?
The list, yeah, the list. Well, you gotta explain. You gotta educate these guys, man. Let us know.
Basically, Nicholas Lopez runs the best wrestling site for segment by segment coverage for the big guys such as TNA. Well, I'm sorry, Impact Wrestling, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Lucha Underground, which is now on Netflix, by the way. So I can actually catch up somewhat. Even the little guys, like West Coast Wrestling Connection, America's Most Liked Wrestling. He gives you segment by segment down to the T. And guess what? Guess how much it costs? It's free.
How much? Free.
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 Just like the RSN Wrestling Podcast.
I also believe that you run the Twitter page, right?
Yes. It's at RSN Podcast.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who don't know, at RSN Podcast, you go over there, check out basically the in-depth, pretty much like rumor mill stuff that's going on around the business.
Would you like to explain to the fans how I get this news?
Exactly, I will. But I mean, like I said, he basically goes to AWHQ, digs a tunnel from Brooklyn all the way to Stanford, goes into the AWHQ headquarters, right into there, goes through Triple H's files, leaves a mess, walks out, and pretty much goes ahead and picks up through everything going on. Believe me, you go on the Twitter page, Rich gets it before it hits everybody else. Be sure about that.
Being the fact we're a week and a half away from WrestleMania, do you remember what I said at Survivor Series? My prediction?
Not sure. It's a while back, yeah. What did you say?
Well, to refresh your memory, fans, you could go to our YouTube page, our Twitter page, our Facebook page, or even ProWrestlingOpinion.com to see what I'm talking about. That's another cheap plug for you, Nick. You're welcome. But in November, I said Goldberg was going to win the title at Fastlane against Kevin Owens. He was going to face Brock Lesnar at Mania, which so far I'm 2 for 2, by the way, on the predictions. And my third one, which will happen, is Goldberg's going to drop the title to Brock Lesnar.
There you have it, folks. It's pretty interesting, You see these things, they spread out like wildfire. You don't know who to trust. Like I said, Rich got the whole hookup. You can trust him for sure.
I was going to say, you could trust me because I go straight to Stanford, break into Triple H's office, fuck up his whole office, take the files, don't clean up, by the way, because that's how we do it in Brooklyn, and I distribute this news to you fans. For how much?
You're basically the WikiLeaks of the wrestling business, right?
How much do I charge for this news that I'm releasing to the fans?
Free. 0. Zilch. Zip. You need a coupon for that? Oh, wait. You don't need that because it's free. Right?
We just asked for your time to listen to us and read it on Twitter and on PWO. That's all we ask. Well, being the fact it's WrestleMania season, have you been up to date with Raw and SmackDown?
I mean, well, looking recently, I mean, I've seen a couple things here and there, but I haven't fully gotten like a like a full gist of it. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of things here and there, like the whole build up with certain programs and things like that, but not that much. I mean, what do you feel? What are you hearing so far?
Well, remember I had the whole prediction card for WrestleMania on the Twitter page?
Yep.
Everything's been right so far.
Yeah, I heard. What about WrestleMania 34?
I don't even want to fucking talk about that main event.
What?
I don't even want to fucking talk about it. It's that bad. To be honest, I hope the same thing happens that it did a couple WrestleManias ago when Seth cashes in Money in the Bank, but someone else, to actually make it worth watching.
Yep. I mean, that might happen. You never know. I mean, well, for those of you that don't know, pretty much they already written down what the plan is for WrestleMania 34, and supposedly the big plan is to have Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
Again.
Here's a catch.
Again.
For the Universal title this time. But here's the difference. It's for the Universal title this time. Which is, again,
it's basically the same match from a couple years ago.
Basically, it's the same match, same situation. And it's like, why? Really? You really going to set that up?
You did that you made us deal with that, what, 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, with that whole storm of, okay, what's going to happen, BS WrestleMania.
It's bad when the best thing about that match, besides Seth Rollins cashing in, was the tagline that Brock Lesnar had.
And basically, the genesis,
which was the former name of this podcast before we became a 3-man show.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's the genesis. It was pretty much the genesis of where we began, because I still recall that time. Suplex City, bitch.
Suplex City podcast.
Suplex City podcast, indeed. Throwback, way throwback. Which kind of brings us into another thing. RSN anniversary. That's pretty much our whole review show. Pretty much, it's gonna be like our whole, what should I say? Like a recap of the whole year, pretty much from us beginning to now. We pretty much started, I'd say, around Mania time, right? Post Mania.
Right after Mania, because remember, that's when Suplex City bitch became a thing.
Yeah. So this is like probably April of 2015.
Yep. We're going on 2 years.
2 years ago. 2 years ago. Time flies. And I remember, basically,
it didn't seem like that long.
Yeah, it didn't seem like that long either. It's like it was just yesterday. But it's like, like I said, we keep on going. We're going to keep developing more and more, and we're going to keep going from here. But I guess a lot of different things going on. Like, it's really interesting now. So that's one of the things, too. Another thing also, WrestleMania. We have our whole previews. Royal Rumble did pretty good. We have our new preview also coming up for WrestleMania. And like I said, whereas last year or the year before, where we got taken down, unfortunately, because of, some kind of copyright BS, this year, it was okay. We didn't get that many kind of, no notices, no nothing, no controversy, none of that.
Again, we didn't get in that much trouble.
No, not at all. We didn't get into any trouble, matter of fact. It was pretty light. We just went ahead and did it, right from there, But like I said, it's pretty interesting to see that all this is going on, and we're kind of, like I said, we're kind of this renaissance where we're still growing, we're able to grow. YouTube isn't coming after us, WWE isn't coming after us. None of that shit is kind of bothering us anymore. Where before it was a concern, basically because it was stopping you guys from watching us, and it was stopping us from basically delivering, what we want, basically being passionate about wrestling. So
the reason why, because we sound knows all the stuff now to not get taken down.
Yeah, we pretty much found the loopholes and things like that, so we can hopefully just keep this going. So
and if anything happens, I'll just go into my tunnel, go to HQ, and do what I have to do.
That's right. I mean, there's like, what else are you hearing so far? I mean, this whole week there's been a lot of stuff. Well, let's talk about recently. Besides WWE, let's talk about 3 letters: ROH. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm actually hearing a lot of stuff because there's a lot of free agents now coming up.
And specifically, I mean, what do you feel about what happened recently? I mean, could you explain what happened, pretty much?
With Kaz.
Well, that too, and also this whole thing in New York. Because
Oh, you
everybody
mean
knows when something comes to New York, it's big. It's a big deal.
you mean how the Hardys showed up randomly, challenged the Young Bucks to the first Too Sweet or Delete, or
Yeah.
when Bully Ray came out? Which one do you want?
Well, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, what do you feel is more relevant?
Both of them.
Both of them.
Both of them were just amazing.
Well, let's talk about ROH New York City. What happened at Hammerstein Ballroom, pretty much?
It was, well, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't go. I was gonna go. But from what I saw, people posting videos, it was an amazing fucking show.
And mind you, we were here. It was myself, Rich, and Nick. All of us simultaneously, as that was going on, we were recording our, taping our
The
year in review
Slamalamis.
podcast. Yeah, the Slamalamis. So think about that. We keep getting all these tweets and things like that, and on top of that, we can't even show up. We're not there.
The funny part was you were supposed to go and I was supposed to go.
My boss literally was going ahead and sending me texts. Holy shit! Look what happened. He was Instagramming me live while I was going on. I was like, wow, really? Oh my fucking god! I wish I went.
I was getting updates on Twitter.
And once you think like, damn, we were here podcasting for you guys. Well, we could have been there. Like I said, with the Irish Wrestling Podcast, we're willing to sacrifice that to provide this to you guys.
Well, I have news for the fans that hopefully does happen.
Mm-hmm.
Remember in the group chat, me, you, I, and Nick were talking about one of these independent companies? Well, not really independent. It's Evolve, which is a big company now.
Yeah.
They're doing a show in Bensonhurst. Possibly. Don't know if it's true. But we at the RSN Podcast might be doing a live podcast for you guys at Evolve 82.
Wow, really? I mean,
Hopefully.
if it is true,
It's not set in stone yet. It's a possibility.
Yeah, so, like I said, we still have to see how that works, but yeah, I mean that'd be pretty dope. Like to see that, maybe a live podcast. Like I said, we keep expanding. It might happen. You never know. So that's pretty interesting. Bensonhurst, really? But we're in Bensonhurst.
St. Finbar's Church. I think it's like Bay 43rd or something. I don't remember exactly.
That's pretty deep. That's exactly Bensonhurst. Yeah.
It's not that far though. But like I say, it's not set in stone yet. It's a possibility.
Yep, it might happen. And if it does, it'll be pretty dope. I mean, what about? I'm hearing of also.
Well, we all want to go.
Site, right?
We all want to go to NXT Brooklyn
or
SummerSlam, either one.
That's a fact. I mean, probably NXT Brooklyn more than SummerSlam.
That will be the first big live show that we do. That's for sure.
I mean, it's just, yeah. And again, it'll be pretty interesting to see. Yeah, like I said, we're gonna keep evolving, so it might happen. I mean, I'm hearing that also ROH has an event. I think right in May. They already sold tickets. I think today or yesterday.
I think it's today. One on sale.
Really? We gotta check that out.
We shall.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of event I think is happening? It's pretty much a pay-per-view, right?
I believe so.
Probably Final Battle or like
no Final Battle. I think it's just a regular Manhattan Mayhem. It's called.
Well, I think last year they had NJPW come in and they did, I think War of the Worlds or Best in the World, something like that.
Global Wars.
Right? Global Wars, right. So
I think that's what this one might be. I'm not sure.
It might be. I mean, it seems that way. I mean, well, that's kind of Brooklyn NXT Takeover weekend, so it'd be interesting to see how it's gonna work. I want to pick. I'm gonna give a shout out to something too. I don't know if you guys have seen on YouTube. Have you guys ever seen Vice?
Hmm.
You ever heard of Vice?
Yeah.
So Vice did this thing. I think it was probably a while back. I recently ran into this. It was like a documentary piece on CZW. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
I think you might have shared it. I'm not sure.
It's pretty dope. I mean, but pretty much what it is they go over the death match. I think it's titled the most dangerous wrestling you've ever seen, something like that. And pretty much it's like they go over like CZW, death matches and things like that, the whole tournament, the death and all that stuff, and all that stuff. But it's kind of like it's interesting to see all these different documentaries coming out, especially with this big kind of revolution with media and everything like that. I mean, where else have you seen all this kind of revolution of media? Rich?
I actually want to check this out now.
Yeah, you should. I mean, it's pretty dope. Well, I mean, if you look at it, recently, WWE did a thing with Kurt Angle. Did you see that?
Yeah, they're filming. They were filming a WWE 24 about him.
Doesn't that get you kind of pumped up to see that Vince and I think it was Vince and Kurt Angle, first time meeting in a while.
In 11 years.
Do you think he's gonna retire? Do you think he's actually gonna wrestle, or what do you feel?
I hope he gets at least 1 or 2 matches.
We have to see. I mean, it seems like they're kind of grooming him to be just retired. Well, that's yet to be seen. But I mean, what about this whole angle? Well, let's talk about this past Monday on Raw. It ended with Seth Rollins coming out, and basically, what did he do? I think Triple H was in the ring threatening Mick Foley, and then Seth came to make a save, right?
Yep.
We'll have to see. I mean, it's
Well, he was cleared weeks ago for physical activity. That's a lot of fans are forgetting. Seth was cleared about 2 weeks ago. So the match is basically set.
So you think he's gonna show up at Mania for sure?
Oh, definitely. He's not going to miss 2 years in a row.
I mean, I think that might be a fact. I mean, but I think it's gonna be at a limited capacity. He won't be like doing any high flying maneuvers. I think he'll probably be doing like,
To
stuff
be
to make sure that he's
honest,
not.
I thought he was actually going to hit the curb stomp on Monday.
I actually I actually had a feeling. You seen that? You're like, oh my god, he actually is gonna hit it. And then next thing you know, you didn't see it. It's like, holy shit. But then, I mean, what really shocked me.
Triple H was basically setting it up. Seth hits the ropes. I'm like, yes, curb stomp. But then Triple H grabbed the crutch and hit him.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they're kind of teasing it back. It's kind of like, okay, it might come back. Just like the buckle bomb. Like, they totally banned that. Now it's not even there anymore.
But other
So the
companies
question
are
is, will it
doing
come
it.
back?
A
lot of people, indies are still doing it.
ROH does it.
Yep. Well, speaking of indies, Jack Swagger recently got released. How do you feel about that?
You mean Swag and Jack?
Swag and Jack. Oh, really? Swag and Jack?
That's going to be his name. People were joking around
Really?
saying that's going to be his name. I think he's going to go to Impact Wrestling.
Swag and Jack. That'd be pretty dope. I mean, what about, we're talking about TNA. What about something with Del Rio?
No, we're not talking about TNA. It's Impact Wrestling.
Oh, right. You changed the name. I'm hearing that TNA is dead.
There's no such thing as TNA. What are you talking about? That's old. There's no
TNA,
such thing
what
as.
is that?
I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
It's like WWF. Get the F out.
Which I think was a great friggin' line.
It was, yeah. It was pretty dope. But then, I mean, with TNA, or should I say Impact Wrestling, how does that work?
To be honest, even though it's only 2 weeks in, I actually like it more.
Really, you do?
Yeah.
I think they're singing ship now. I mean, if Jeff Jarrett's kind of holding it up, okay, maybe GFW can absorb it and turn it into its own product.
They actually signed a contract to coexist with Crush, which is Conan's company in Mexico.
Oh man, that's crazy. So Jeff and Conan teaming up. That'd be pretty dope.
Well, just last week, a tag team from the Indies, Reno Scum, they debuted and won. This week, another team, Garza Jr. and Liato Kid. I know I'm pronouncing the name wrong. They debuted and won. And LAX returned tonight.
But
All
is it
from-
LAX is it LAX without Homicide, right?
without Hernandez.
Or without Hernandez? I don't know how it's gonna work though. That's kind of
It's
like,
it's Conan and Homicide as the two veterans, and it's two young kids, probably like early 20s, and a girl. I forgot the girl's name, but it's not Shelly Martinez, which I know you're very bummed out about because I know you love Shelly.
oh my god, that broke my heart. I was like, come on, man.
But it's basically the two veterans and the two young guys and the girl. So I can actually see this working out very well.
We'll have to see. But Conan's back in TNA now.
No, he's in Impact Wrestling.
Oh, Impact Wrestling. My fault. So he's back in Impact Wrestling now.
Yeah. But I doubt he's going to wrestle, though. I think he's just there as like the veteran manager.
Or probably be like a backstage agent, maybe.
Probably. I think he's in charge of like the recruiting Latino talent. Like, you know how they have one specific person for like each nationality? Not really like nationality, but like every country. I think Conan's the head of recruiting everyone from like Spanish countries. But I can actually see this working out very well.
I mean, yeah, it's yet to be seen. I mean, I still feel like they have a lot of work to do, especially
Like
after the whole reputation.
Plus, like I said, they're only 2 weeks into the new Impact Wrestling, and I see a lot of improvement.
We'll have to see. I mean, we'll just have to see what's going on. Mm-hmm.
I like the new restart. I think it's good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, we have to see what's going on. I mean, of course, different promotions, different kind of things. That's just gonna help them.
What
And
do you
I think
about
also
it? They signed with Crush. Jeff Jarrett has GFW and Impact. They have a lot of good friggin' rivalries going with all this.
I mean, it's yet to be seen. I still feel like they still got to build their talent. They still have to set up the picture, and then do something with that picture. So it's yet to be seen. I mean, it's hard to tell at this juncture.
To be honest, I think it's going to be good because unlike the first invasion of GFW, which you could read about the invasion of GFW with TNA Wrestling on ProWrestlingOpinion.com, the best segment-by-segment wrestling website known to man, run by the Nicholas J. Lopez. That was a cheap little plug thrown in there because I thought it worked in perfect. What do you think?
I think that was pretty dope.
Better than Josh Matthews?
Way better than Josh Matthews.
Because there's a camera in any store, but there's also a camera in the Big Brother house, which you can watch on Pop TV.
I mean, also, there's also a new commentator. Speaking of commentators, have you heard of Jeremy Borash?
JB, that's my boy.
And he's replacing Josh Matthews, and Josh Matthews is probably like, wow, that sucks.
All because of one little statement.
Yeah, I mean, I heard they were like calling each other out. Was it true?
Yeah, they were.
Really? Oh my god. So I mean, and I think JR stepped in, right?
Well, I don't know if anyone heard this little line that Josh Matthews said last week when JB came out and came to the announce table. Josh Matthews threw a little sub at WWE. He's like, "This is supposed to be a 2-man team. We don't need 3 announcers or 4 announcers like SmackDown." I'm like, wow, he really said that.
Got fired.
And then when Dutch Mantel came out, he said, "My name is Zeb. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not in WWE anymore. My name's not Zeb Coulter. It's Dutch Mantel." I'm like, holy shit! The new company of Impact does not give a fuck.
Cheap Pete. I think that's how it is.
And it's doing fucking amazing. This GP that they're throwing little subs here and there, I love it.
I mean, for them, I think it's just a lot more. I'm about to see. Like I said, it's just a matter of time. But I think it's just they still have to, like, for example. Well, let's talk about the Hardys. Broken Hardys leaving TNA, and then TNA supposedly trying to take the whole Broken Hardys gimmick. What do you feel about that?
To be honest, like I said in the last podcast, Broken Matt Hardy was in Ring of Honor before TNA. He started Broken in Ring of Honor. So they can't sue him.
But would you argue that Jeremy Borash was the mastermind behind Broken Hardys?
He wasn't the mastermind. You're the mastermind. But he did have a little part in the production of Broken Matt Hardy.
I still feel like it kind of comes back to WWE and Cody Rhodes. Same kind of situation where it's his name, but they say no, we own that name. And they're kind of like, no, that's my
you can't say you own the name of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, you really can't, because at the end of the day, that's his name. You can't really tell him, okay, you can't use that because it's your own name. Same thing with Hardy.
What I find weird though is you can't use Cody Rhodes, but you could use Brandy Rhodes.
You gotta understand, it's an H. There's an H in between, in the wrong place.
Because I'm trying.
H or an A, I think, something like that.
I don't know, but I think it's fucking retarded. How can you tell someone you can't use your name?
It's stupid. I think I think the main reason is probably TNA or Impact Wrestling being petty, because of course that whole New York City event, they came out, called TNA out on the mic after that match to throw shots at them, and then of course they insulted them back.
And what about Bully Ray?
Well, Bully Ray too. Yeah, I mean, well. Did you see the whole segment with the tag titles on TNA on Impact Wrestling?
Fuck TNA. That's why I didn't sign with them.
That's right. And what, they're gonna tell him you can't use Bully Ray? Like, what the fuck?
They could kind of argue. Also? They could kind of argue that one though.
I doubt it. I really don't think they can.
They kind of can.
Because I think because Bully Ray really wanted to use he wanted to really do his own stint in WWE. I think I heard that he was one step away from having his whole same character in WWE. But then
after
of course,
the Dudley split up.
Yeah. They decided to go their own separate route. I mean, I think Devon right now, he's an agent on WWE right now.
And he said he loves it.
Yeah.
He said he loves his new role.
Yeah. I mean, it suits him. I think he deserves it. I mean, you got to think about this. Out of all the tag teams, he's the only one that hasn't been a world champ.
Yeah.
Think about it. Edge and Christian, the Hardys. You see Dudley's. Bully Ray's been a champion. But Bubba, or no, I should say Devon has never been a champion, a world champion, nonetheless. Has he?
I don't think he's held any singles titles actually.
No, he held, I think, in TNA, the TNA Legends title, I think.
The television, whatever their mid-card title is.
Yeah.
But it was TNA, so who really gives a shit?
That's right. But I still feel like it's a good position for him. He deserves it. He worked so hard in the business. Why not?
He's been busting his ass since 1995.
That's right. Well, what about this? The Raw team I know before we kind of inducted them into our Hall of Shame. They're really getting heat now, based on this whole build of WrestleMania. It's like, come on, you guys are really not putting any effort into it at all. Either that or Vince has you on a leash. Like, what do you feel about that?
I go with the second choice. Vince and Kevin don't have them on a leash.
I mean, I understand it's WrestleMania time. Maybe they're trying to pressure them and things like that. But at the same time, it's like, what are you really giving them to work with? You're making them work with shit. And it's like, okay, make gold.
SmackDown,
Okay, how am I going to make shit out of gold?
SmackDown is building a great story with friggin' I can't even. SmackDown is the better show. It's that simple.
It is. It is.
You can give
I think what really
SmackDown right. Give SmackDown a match between a plastic bag and a paper bag. SmackDown could make that gold.
I think it's mostly Shane McMahon. That's probably why, because he's the guy that's kind of usually behind that.
It's Shane McMahon and the old writer for NXT.
Which makes sense, because that's why they're a better brand. They kind of in touch with the fans. They know that, okay, they want to mix. But it's like, then you got
the storyline. The storyline between Nikki Bella and John Cena.
That's a Kevin Dunn.
Versus The Miz and Maurice. It's amazing right now.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's amazing. And the
I think
best
it's a Kevin
part
Dunn play. I mean, think about this. Before the Royal Rumble, we were thinking about what was going to happen with Cena. Oh, he's going to face The Undertaker. After he won the Royal Rumble, oh, he's going to go ahead and, he won the title. He's going to face Randy Orton for the title. That's the main event. Next thing you know, oh, that didn't happen. Oh, maybe it's going to be Undertaker versus Cena. And in the last minute, oh, it's going to be Miz and Maurice versus Cena and Nikki Bella. What kind of BS is this?
But to be honest, it's a great storyline. And guess what the best part of the storyline is? Like, what's making it the best?
The Miz and Maurice?
No, not even. Maurice and Nikki Bella going back and forth. They're throwing nice little pops at each other.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, this is a Total Divas play. They're using this match to build off of Total Divas. That's what I feel.
To be honest,
there's no reason why.
It's really good.
I mean, I have to see it.
Like, John and Mike. I'm sorry, Miz. I'm used to calling him Mike.
Mike Miz.
But John and the Miz, they have their little lines going back and forth. But Maurice and Nikki, amazing.
Well, I think this is what I gotta admit. I think that
you could tell this is a good storyline because, as everyone knows, I love to the Ash Show podcast. He worships this storyline right now of Miz and Maurice, John and Nikki. He says this could be the best stories with couples he's ever seen.
Really? Wow. I never believe it. I mean, I haven't seen much of SmackDown, so I probably wouldn't, I wouldn't see what's going on very much right now. But I'm looking at it from the outside. I'm like, you know what? I still feel like they're still not doing it. But I feel I can tell you for sure, they really did a good job of Miz. I think it's just like how I think the Alexa Bliss kind of grew on me. I feel like Miz is trying to grow on me now too. Now I think he's becoming a better heel now for sure.
And who liked Alexa Bliss since day one?
Of course, you. I know. That's your babe, right?
Yep.
Harley Quinn, kicking ass. That's what's up. But I mean, what about this whole situation with the Raw women's division? I keep hearing that that's changing the picture. Maybe Bayley might lose the title before Mania.
It's going to be hard because there's only one Raw left before Mania.
Well, I'm hearing that they're going a number of routes. Maybe put Nia Jax in the mix or take Bayley out.
I really think it should be a fatal four-way.
Actually, I feel like they should just have Sasha and Charlotte. That's it.
I think it should be the fatal four-way.
Fatal four-way?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the triple threat. Like, look at how much work it took to build that, and how it really didn't click at first.
I think it should be a fatal four-way. So, if they really want Bayley to lose the title, she doesn't have to get pinned to actually lose it.
Well, let me ask you this. Regardless, who do you think is still going to walk out with the women's title after Mania?
Sasha.
Sasha, really?
I have to.
I think it might be Charlotte. Because I think the way they're building her, they want her to be 16-time women's champion.
In a matter
I
of
don't think
less than a year.
I doubt it. Maybe less than a year, maybe more. It might take a little more time.
It's like what
I'm looking for.
it's like what Big E said.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, look what they did with Cena. This whole 16 title reign. Look what they did. It totally went to bullshit. Like it was like, okay, you went ahead and gave him the title. You had him lose it 7 days later. What was the point of that?
Just so
It's
you
for
can
him to
have
get the
it.
16 title.
Just so you can have 16.
Yeah, it's retarded. It's like, come on, man. Really, like, you really just did that just to have that. But I can tell you this: I think Bray Wyatt is doing a very. I think I like this with Bray Wyatt. Do you think Luke Harper is ready to be in that match?
No. I don't think so.
Why not? I think they built him up pretty good. I think the crowd's behind him for sure.
Can I actually say something? Breaking news.
Yep.
There's going to be a new Wyatt member at Mania.
Finn.
No. I think someone coming up.
Maybe somebody from Insanity.
I think it's the one who got kicked out.
Most likely. It
I
seems
forgot
that
his
way.
name. I forgot what his name was.
Well, think about this. What about Eric Young face to face with Bray Wyatt? That seems like a good picture.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like to me down the line, they're definitely looking at doing an NXT versus main roster set of matches.
Or Broken Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. I've been saying that for how long?
I don't think that's gonna happen though, because TNA's Impact Wrestling is gonna make a problem about that.
It might, because guess whose ROH contract ends 2 days before Mania?
Really? Who?
The Hardys.
Really? They signed for that short time?
Yep.
So that's not much of a contract then.
It was a 1 month contract.
Wow, really? That's a month five. Wow.
Because that's the only company that they never won the tag team titles in as a team.
That's right. Unless they go back to WWE, win all those titles.
It's gonna be good.
What about this whole thing with Roman Reigns and The Undertaker? Do you feel like they'll make Roman Reigns a heel?
To be 100% honest, if you want to make Roman the biggest heel in history, you have him beat Taker.
I heard that, yeah.
If you want to make him the biggest heel in the history of wrestling, of any company, you have him beat Taker at Mania.
Well, you got to think about this too. WrestleMania 34 is in New Orleans, the same location where the streak got ended. So
it never happened.
Yeah, it never happened.
The streak never ended.
The streak never ended. Well, of course, Paul Heyman kind of said it. I think he said it right there. What if that was all real? What if that was a shoot?
I still refuse to believe the streak ended.
Well, still, I mean, regardless, I mean, it's still there. I mean, like I said, I think you're right. If they do go down this route where they make Reigns pretty much win and turn heel, that's probably the best way they can go. And then from there, like I said, that's basically connection right there. Brock beat him, Roman beat him. Perfect deal right there. Two men that beat The Undertaker.
And at Mania, neither one beat each other.
Someone cashes in. What about this Shinsuke Nakamura? Do you feel like he's going to get called up anytime soon?
After Mania.
How soon after Mania?
From what I'm hearing, the night after Mania, the call-ups are going to be the Revival, Shinsuke, and Ty Dillinger, and Elias Sampson. There's going to be 5 call-ups, which is the most. and possibly Asuka.
That'd be pretty interesting, though. I mean, I can tell you that.
And
Well, I
they
mean,
said
let's end it on this
possibly
right here.
Asuka too.
Yeah, I see that way too. I mean, let's end this up with one more thing then. What was I gonna say? What about Austin Aries?
The greatest
How do
man
you
who
feel
ever
about this?
lived.
Greatest man who ever lived. I think that's a perfect acronym from like it's like come on, man. It really does. Because did you see this whole thing with the whole Raw build-up and everything like that? That was perfect right there. Like, the crowd popped. It was perfect.
Because everyone loves him.
Do you feel like that'll ever materialize where Austin Aries becomes cruiserweight champ?
He's winning at Mania.
He's winning at Mania. And then what's next?
Shooting for the big title.
Just like in TNA or Impact Wrestling, should I say.
No, you can say TNA.
Well, that's when I think he started as an X Division wrestler.
He had option. He invented option C.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, well, here's one thing too. That like he had probably one of the greatest reigns in TNA as a world champ, and he made the best of it. So it makes sense.
There's only one person who had a better reign than him.
Who was that?
Actually, let me rephrase it. There was one person who had a more glorious reign than Austin Aries. Because remember, who had the longest reign in TNA history? A glorious one, Bobby Roode. So, if they're smart, push Aries to win the big title. Or you give him a mid-card title, which a lot of people won't mind. But give him a mid-card, then you build off for the main title. So. Okay, guess I'm running solo. Hello? Sal?
Yeah.
What happened?
You heard that, right?
What?
I was trying to set it up. I was trying to set up the thing with Glorious, but it took time. So
Oh,
it didn't work.
hear it.
You didn't hear it?
No.
Oh man, that sucks. I'll have to set it up, I guess. So next time we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, so this is the Arsenal Wrestling Podcast.
Be sure to check out our social media. We have like almost everything. I run the Twitter page at RSN Podcast. Sal runs YouTube. We co-run the Facebook for RSN. We also have SoundCloud. We have Google Plus. We have.
I'm hearing we have a site too, right?
It's still in the progress. I'm still doing little by little. Takes some time when you're working. Come home, you're tired. The only time you really have off is weekends.
Yep, I know how
It's
it
hard.
is. They move. Mm-hmm.
Then we have Nicholas J. Lopez running the best segment by segment wrestling website known to man. What's the name of it?
3 letters.
It's not
P
ROH. It's
W.
not WWE. I think it's PWO, right?
PWO. Yes, sir.
Hey, Sal, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What time is it?
Is it time? It's tagline time, right?
Oh, it's been a while.
It's been a long while. What you the man say, right?
Reading is fundamental. Reading about wrestling puts you over.
I gotta go ahead and make a graphic for that. So at post-production, I'll definitely try to get that in. But I mean, nonetheless.
Maybe if we make it into a t-shirt, we can sell it on the RSN Wrestling Podcast website that I'm in production of making.
Definitely. I mean, it could happen. Like I said, we talk about merchandise. Next podcast, we'll elaborate. We'll tell you guys what that whole thing is about. So stay tuned.
This is We're RSN. You're not. Just remember that. I took that from Taz. All credit goes out to Taz for that one. You'll know that if you listen to his show. That's the way he ends the show. He says, I'm Taz, you're not, we're out.
We're
Just
RSN podcast. You're not. We're out.
Yep,
I like that.
I like it.
I like that too. This is the RSN Wrestling Podcast. This is the Mastermind. Sal.
This is the big guy, Rich. We're RSN, you're not, we're out.
We're out. I like that. That's dope. Finish it up.